So let's begin with our prayer. And Lori, you're praying, yes?
Yes, perfect. All right. Just taking a moment. If you'd like, I invite you to close your eyes. I like to put my hands on my heart. Taking a nice deep breath in. So grateful and thankful to be here today in this sacred space with each other. Grateful and thankful for the messages Spirit is sending through the music and through our speaker and through all who share today. So grateful and thankful to follow that flicker of Spirit, allowing it to light our way as we walk forward. Grateful for all the ahas and for all the clarity and miracles coming our way today during this time we spend together. And sharing the benefits with everyone because we are one with them. In grace and gratitude, we allow it to be, and so it is. Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. Thank you, Lori. Yes. You know, there's so much going on in the world. I don't need to tell you that. I'm just acknowledging it. And it is mighty challenging for a lot of people. A lot of people are having very intense experiences right now. And our spiritual practice truly helps them. It truly lifts them up. So let us know that and deepen our spiritual practice here today in the willingness to take responsibility for our thoughts, for our feelings, for our experiences, every part of it. Yes. So I'm very excited to invite Christopher to give us a song here. And I am going to share the introduction that he gave me to share for you. So Christopher is from the majestic Rocky Mountains of Canada. He's a folk rock world beat singer-songwriter. Fans describe him as a modern-day troubadour and liken his music to Cat Stevens with world music influences. Christopher has performed in India, Nepal, Australia, Peru, Kenya, Costa Rica, the Philippines, the United States, and Canada. A highlight of his career was performing at the Canadian Embassy in Manila. Christopher is a citizen of the world, born in Guyana, and is of East Indian, Bengali, Ukrainian, Gypsy, and Royal Polish descent. Much like his ancestry, Christopher's musical style is eclectic. One song is in Swahili, utilizing African world percussion. Some have Native American flute, others Latin, acoustic, and electric guitars. Christopher is on a mission to share his music with the world. He endeavors to unify people with the power of his music. Christopher also believes in giving back. He's taught music to special needs children and has also shared his musical gift with convalescent and children's hospitals, orphanages, and prisons the world over. Christopher is currently recording Prince and the Gypsy, the follow-up to his critically acclaimed album, Song of the Angels. Christopher, so happy you're here with us today. I can't wait to hear your music. I think you have to unmute yourself first.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. This is called Learn to Love Somebody. Such a pretty soul all alone, a heart so full of tears, such sad blinds your eyes. Loneliness, your biggest fear. It feels like it's forever. Wonder what happened to that fairy tale. 'Cause every time your ships come in, only your dreams sailed away. Desperately you try not to cry. Dreams do come true, you pray. But do you believe you're worth it to turn this dark into day? If you want to learn to love somebody, you gotta learn to love yourself. If you want to learn to love somebody, you gotta learn to love yourself. There's romance all around you, but you feel like a flower in a desert sea. Thinking, maybe I'm not worth it, or maybe love is not for me. Like a child deserves their mother's touch, like a rose deserves the rain. Your desires are straight from heaven, and your prayers won't end in vain. The whole world feels your beauty, touched by the warmth within your eyes. But it's you who must believe it before your spirit can touch the skies. If you want to learn to love somebody, you gotta learn to love yourself. If you want to learn to love somebody, you gotta learn to love yourself. There's a passion in your soul ready to ignite. If you open your heart and step into the light. If you want to learn to love somebody, you gotta learn to love yourself. Keep the faith in your dreams. They aren't as far away as they seem.
Thank you. That's so appropriate for us today, Christopher. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So good to see you, Jennifer.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. It really is. And moving right along, I'm excited to introduce my friend Tama Keeves. And Tama Keeves is a graduate of Harvard Law School. She left her law practice to help others create their most extraordinary lives. She's the best-selling author of Thriving Through Uncertainty and A Year Without Fear and other books. She's been featured in USA Today and on Oprah Radio. She's a sought-after speaker and visionary career success coach who's taught A Course in Miracles for 30 years. She leads retreats and online programs and is known for her electrifying presence, grounded compassion, dynamic sense of humor, and the believable and sweeping possibilities she ignites in others. That's offering her free experiential webinar on trust at tamakeeves.com/trust. This free class will guide you to the most impeccable, uncanny choices of your lifetime. Don't forget to check out her upcoming Course in Miracles 8-week class. And one of the things I can tell you is if you're a regular listener to my podcast, my radio show, Tammy has been a guest there a couple of times. She's done Living A Course in Miracles classes with us, and she's always inspiring and igniting. So we are going to be so glad we are here today. Tama, take it away.
I'm so on. Whoops, I got to unmute. Am I live? Can we hear me? Yay! Thank you. I'm looking at you, that's why. I'm so honored to be here, so grateful to be here. So as Jennifer was saying, we're living in interesting times, are we not? I mean, my God, are these interesting times of just a lot of uncertainty for so many of us. And yet what I want you to know is you were born for these times. You were born for this time. And I believe it's as though the universe is saying, you know what? You've all been studying, you have the tools, you have this genius, you have this love inside you. And it's as though the universe is saying, the grace period's over. The grace period's over now. You know, we are the answers. We were born for this time because we have love in us. We have gifts to give. We have dreams to give. We have something to do here, something to experience here. And that's, I deeply believe, what these times are for. And so if you're going through any kind of major uncertainty right now, if things are challenging right now, the main thing I want you to take away from today is that there is already a path within you. There's already a path within you. There's already something inside you that is clear and infinitely intelligent and knows what to do. So all we are asking ourselves is, then what's stopping me from knowing what that path is? What's stopping me from listening to that? So that's what we're going to talk about, because for me, what this path is really about, it's about getting out of our heads and being led. It's about getting out of our heads and being led moment by moment, right? So that's what we're going to talk about. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is to think about, you know, what stops you from listening? What stops you from listening to your inner voice, your inner love, from that infinite intelligence and genius that knows right now? And so one thing I know is if you're not hearing that voice, if you're not listening to your heart, your love, your gifts, what you're here to do, if you're not listening to that, you're listening to somebody else or something else. And so I'm going to ask you, what am I listening to? What are you listening to? Whose voice are you listening to? That's really the question. And so for me, I was listening always to my mother. Right? That's what I was listening to. And so some of you know my story or may have heard my story, but I'm just going to tell it briefly because for me, it is my story of listening to the wrong voice for a while and then listening to the right voice, right? So when I was younger, I knew that I wanted to write. That was my dream. But I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, to an Orthodox Jewish family. And if you said you wanted to write, nobody said Mazel Tov. Nobody thought this was a good idea. I basically could have said, I want to sell cocaine. And my mother would have heard it the same way, you know, because in my mother's mind, drug addicts and prostitutes and creative people, they were all the same people, right? So my mother said something like, you're going to write, you're going to starve, you're going to write. And that was basically the go for your dreams talk. And then later on, she said something like, well, can't you get a job? And then you'll write on the Sundays. You'll write on the Sundays, right? And many of us got this same exact advice, maybe different accent, but many of us got the same exact advice of don't do what you love. Don't do what moves you. Don't do what rocks your world. Don't listen to that whisper, that nudge, that presence. Stay safe, stay practical, stay reasonable. And that's going to be your choice in this lifetime. Which voice do I listen to? So I ignored that loving voice, that desire of I want to write. And I went to law school instead, and I got accepted to Harvard Law School and graduated with honors from Harvard Law School. And as you might imagine, my mother was very proud. She's bragging in every synagogue for all she's worth. Oh, my little girl, I don't want to tell you. let me tell you, right? And so, and maybe you've had that experience where your life looks right to other people, but it doesn't feel right to you. It feels empty, right? So I practiced law and I was doing well, but it just felt so empty. Because here's the thing, if you're not listening to Spirit's voice, you're supposed to be depressed. If you're not listening to that love, that light, that infinite presence, we're supposed to be depressed. And so just because we're living a life that everybody else says is okay, or you're doing the right things or the safe things, and particularly in these times of uncertainty, everybody's going to have advice about what's practical, what's certainty. And I'm going to tell you, there's the most practical voice you ever want to know inside you, and it's about listening to it. So I got more and more depressed, and finally, thank God, a friend of mine said something amazing to me that's in my first book, This Time I Dance, Creating the Work You Love. And he said, think about it. If you've been this successful doing something you don't love, what could you do with what you love? Right? And so doesn't that just make sense? It's like, oh my God, that's logical. That's not even, that's logical. And so I just knew I get one lifetime, I need to know where this goes. I need to find out. And so I decided that I was going to leave everything. I was going to walk out of that law firm, and I was going to follow whatever this voice was, and I was going to see where it took me. And by the way, my latest book is Thriving Through Uncertainty. It's my newest book, and it's all about navigating all these changes and listening to your inner voice. And if you walk out of everything you've ever known without money, without a plan, just following an inner voice, I think that qualifies you to be an expert in uncertainty. So that's what began this journey. And I get asked all the time because, okay, Tama, I get that. Yes, I get, follow your inner voice, whatever, but I don't know how to get from A to B to C to D. I don't know how. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to put my life together. I don't know how to see the plan. And one thing that I teach in Thriving Through Uncertainty is that you can't plan an inspired life. You're never going to plan an inspired life. This life, what these times are for at this time, everything is shaking up. All the old ways are falling apart so that we will finally listen to something new. We're not here to make it in the world. We're here to remake the world. We're here to remake the world with possibilities we can't even imagine when we start finally listening to what's inside us, right? So when I say you can't plan an inspired life, for me, you're never going to see the path A, B, C, D, but what you will get, and what I'm going to invite you to get today as you're listening, is there's something in this moment. There is something in this moment for you. And that's all I care about, because your inspired voice speaks moment by moment by moment. So I will give you my best example of this. Again, some of you may have read this story in one of my books, but it's my best example of following in the moment. And it's when I first started writing, and I didn't have an agent, and I didn't have a publisher, and I didn't have anything. And it was just, you have a dream. It's like, oh, I want to do this, and I'm following my bliss and whatever. By the way, it took me 12 years to write my first book. And I know sometimes people, when they're listening, think, oh, I'm not studying with that woman. Like, I'm done. I liked her till then, but I don't got that kind of time. I want the 3 easy steps. But I always tell people, I think it took me 11 years to really trust, and 11 years to really believe, and 11 years to really know, and 1 year to write a book. So if things are taking time in your life right now, it's because we who are on an inspired path, we who are living a spiritual path, we are undoing so much. We are changing the way that we think and breathe and see. It's not a linear path. There's so much going on, and it's so unfair to judge yourself by a linear path, right? So I kept asking my inner voice, what am I supposed to do? Because I finally finished writing this book without the agent, a publisher, or anything after 12 years. And I thought, okay, what do I do? How do I get it in the world? I mean, I don't know anything, how do you commercially publish? How do you self-publish? I don't know. And I heard an inner voice, and it just said, just put it in the river. Just put it in the river, which was very pretty and very beautiful. And it's like, what the heck does that mean? You know, and I don't know about your inner voice, but mine speaks in metaphors. And I knew intuitively it meant just get it out there some way, somehow, put it in the stream of life, just get it out there. If it's supposed to go somewhere, it will. So I knew it meant self-publishing. But that was so scary to me. And I don't know about you, but do you ever do that thing where you're asking for an inner voice and then it's like, well, can I hear a lucrative inner voice, please? Can I hear one that has a more reasonable path, please? Because like why do I have to get the weirdo path all the time? And so, but I knew it meant to self-publish, just put it out there. But I was so terrified because I didn't know anything about marketing or publishing or distribution. But I just thought, okay, I have followed this inner voice all along. I'm going to trust it. I'm going to go where it would have me go. I'm going to go where it would have me go. Because, the Course in Miracles teaches us that Spirit says, you can do anything I ask. You can do anything I ask. And so it's like, can we really trust that, right? So I finally decided I'm going to do it. And by the way, the second you decide that you're going to follow this inner voice, you're going to really, really pay attention. You're going to do these dreams. You're going to do whatever it is, no matter how weird it sounds, whatever. You will meet, the second you decide to do this, you will meet the most judgmental person. You will meet somebody who will judge the heck out of you, test you, right? I just thought you needed to know that. And I went to an ex-boyfriend's house for a Passover dinner, and don't know what possessed me to do this, but I'm at the Passover dinner and I sit next to this woman, and she's the most judgmental woman on the planet. And she starts grilling me. And maybe you've had that experience. You've just finally decided, okay, I'm going to trust, I'm going to listen. And then people are asking you for, quote, real world answers, And so she's like, you're going to publish a book and you know nothing about marketing and you know nothing about distribution and you're putting your money into this? Oh, you're very ambitious, right? Which is like code for, oh, you're a nut. You're a nut. Step away from my kids, right? By the way, I never understood the Passover ceremony. Like for years, I never understood. It was all about let my people go, let my people. That was the first night I ever got that ceremony. It was like, oh, I get it. Let my people go. Let my people go. Because again, you're gonna tap into something amazing in you. And then somebody else is going to ask you to explain yourself, right? And so I started thinking, do I tell her, oh, don't worry, I'm going to put it in a river. That's what I'm going to do. Don't worry. I've got a plan. I'm putting it in a river, right? Or do I, worse yet, don't tell her, oh, don't worry. I've been hearing an inner voice. It's speaking to me for 12 years. It would have stopped her at least, right? So how like that's what it is that you're hearing the most amazing truth of your lifetime. And then it sounds foolish when you talk to other people. So talk to the right people. Right. And so for me, it was another choice point of, do I believe this? Do I trust this? So I'll cut to the chase. I did the most amazing thing I've ever done, and I trusted that voice all the way. And I self-published it. I didn't know what I was doing. I put it out there in the world. And 4 months after I self-published, I got an email out of the blue that said, your fairy godmother has arrived. Your fairy godmother has arrived. And it was an email from I thought it was spam, of course, right? You open an email like that, you're going to think it's Russian girls are waiting for you. I'm just like, I thought it was going to just be a joke, right? But I opened it. And it was from a vice president of marketing and publicity for Random House. And she had been in a career transition and searching and struggling. And she somehow found my self-published book, This Time I Dance, Creating the Work You Love. And she said, this is the best book I've ever read on finding your calling, finding your dreams. I love this book. I want to get it to a major New York publisher, which for me was like saying, I want to help you meet God. And she got it to the publisher I'd always dreamed of, Tarcher Penguin. They kept the exact title. They kept the exact words. They kept the purple print. I didn't know what I was doing. I printed it in purple because I like purple. As an unknown writer, I would never have started off that way had I followed a conventional path. had I done what everybody tells you you're supposed to do, the reasonable, the safe, the practical. But when I say you can't plan an inspired life, you don't know how this is going to work, right? Just because you can't see the plan doesn't mean there isn't a plan. I couldn't have known that I was going to have a meltdown for 12 years, wondering, am I sane? Am I crazy? Is this stupid? And some other woman's going to have a meltdown at the end of 12 years and be looking at her career transition and blah, blah, blah. We're going to hook up. And that was my business plan, right? So that's what I mean when I say you can't plan an inspired life. There is already a path inside every single one of us. There is a genius. There is a strength, but we are asked to follow it moment by moment, right? In my book, Thriving Through Uncertainty, I have a concept about a chapter on following breadcrumbs, and that's it. That's all we do. So I'm just going to ask you today, as you're listening, maybe you're thinking about, okay, what's a breadcrumb, right? And a breadcrumb could look completely different than what you think it should look like, right? So I always used to, whenever I gave talks, I've traveled around the country a lot and given a lot of talks, and I always used to tell that story because it's such a great story, and I always used to end with that story. But what I want to talk more about is about thriving through uncertainty, because that's where we're all at right now, and what I want you to know about thriving through uncertainty. So I have a chapter in my book, Thriving Through Uncertainty, that's all about what I call like the video game, right? And so some of you might be feeling, I know I've been feeling at different times, I can't believe I'm here again. How did I get here again? Like, do you ever feel like you have the same issue that you had before, that you think, didn't I do enough therapy on that? Like, haven't I seen enough healers? Haven't I journaled about that one doubt long enough? Like, why am I here again? Why am I uncertain again? I was doing so well. I was in the flow. I was doing it. Why am I all of a sudden out of the flow again, right? And so we beat ourselves up, but here's what I want you to know. It's a video game. And by that, I mean this game of waking up to your true powers. When you've done really well, when you've answered something, when you've gotten somewhere, you go to the next level. You go to the next level. And at the next level, it's harder. At the next level, the enemies are harder. The rules aren't the same anymore. What you knew didn't work anymore, because it's the next level. And I deeply believe that we're being asked now, will you trust your tools here? Will you believe here? Will you listen to Spirit's voice here? Will you choose love instead of fear at this level now and at this level now? Because that's the game. That's how we're learning. So I want to tell you an experience I had that way, a very powerful experience I had that way years ago. It was when my second book was coming out. My second book is Inspired and Unstoppable, Wildly Succeeding in Your Life's Work. And I was not wildly succeeding. I just, right before it came out, I had horrible stuff happen. It was like, it was right before it came out, and I was having all these plans. And I don't know if you ever do that, where you think, I'm going to make up for every mistake I've ever made. This time, I'm going to nail it. This time, I'm going to get it right. I'm going to do all the right things, right? And behind the scenes, everything started falling apart. My partner got really, really ill. It was terrifying. It was this, all of a sudden he dropped out of everything, right? But, we had these deadlines. We had these things we were supposed to be doing. I had an assistant and she flaked out at the moment. So all of a sudden, right before this book is coming out, I'm missing deadlines and opportunities and things I want to do. And I'm just feeling terrified and out of control. And I had a friend at the time, and she came to me and she said, it's not exactly attractive in a self-help author to be freaking out. She was like, because I was like, and she's like, not the best look for an author who's just written Inspired and Unstoppable, right? So she told me, you should go see this healer. You need to go see this healer. And so I thought, fine, whatever. I don't know anything about this. I'll go see this healer. And so I drive up to the mountains to see this healer that I don't know. And she's in a yurt. And so I'm from New York City originally, and it's like, I don't know from yurts, like a yurt. And so a yurt, by the way, is a round tent. It's a round tent. And she's sitting in the round tent, and she's very lovely. And she says, so what would you like to heal? And I am crazy at that point, right? And so I'm like, and this, and this, and I want this, and I want that. And I'm sure that poor, poor woman said, oh my God, there is not enough sage on the planet now to cleanse this space. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to move now. And so, so she said, you know what, we're gonna do a ritual. We're gonna do a ritual. And she takes me to this mountain stream that's on her property, and this mountain stream. And she has me stand in the middle of the stream. And she has me look down, all the water's rushing and rushing and rushing, and hitting the rocks. And she said, those are all the opportunities you missed, all those twigs, all those things that are flowing by and flowing by. And she's like, I want you to look at that. And she said, that's everything you could have done and should have done and would have done. And that's everything you blew, everything you missed. It's all over. It's going. And she's like, how do you feel? And my first thought was like maybe I should have hired a different healer because this doesn't feel good. But then I thought it just felt so out of control. It felt so out of control. And I got it. All of a sudden, all the things I should have done and could have done and would have done and everything that has passed me by, and I'm getting older on top of it all of a sudden I had this moment of realizing it's all out of my control. It was all out of my control, everything that happened. And I had this moment of incredible self-forgiveness, this moment of incredible self-compassion, of realizing I'm doing what I can do. That's all I can do. I'm doing what I can do in this moment. And it was just this level of mercy. And so that's what I'm going to ask you to think about. Wherever you are in your life right now, you're doing what you can do. Let's have so much love for that. Then she had me turn and face the stream coming this way, and the water was rushing at me and rushing at me and rushing at me and rushing at me. And she said, this is your life. It's giving you new opportunities. It's giving you new creativity. You're going to meet new people. You're going to meet, because of everything that didn't happen, you're going to meet new people and new things are coming, and new thoughts and new possibilities and new energy. And do you ever think it's going to stop? Because look at that flow going. And she said, that's the nature of this universe. It just keeps giving and giving and giving you another chance and another chance and another chance. And for me, in that moment, it was this incredible healing of realizing it's not my past that creates my future. It's my present. It's this present moment. Because all the time I'm looking at what I should have done and could have done and would have done, I'm not present. And I'm not believing anymore. And I'm not trusting anymore. And I'm not available anymore to what Spirit's showing me now and what the universe is giving me now and the ideas that are coming now. So that's what I'm going to ask you as we stand in the middle of this stream of incredible uncertainty at this time on the planet. It's, can you choose to believe again? Wherever you closed your heart to believing you couldn't have something you wanted, it's too late, it's over, you don't have the money, you don't have the way, or you don't even know what you want, whatever it is, can we as a community, can we in this moment, can we open up to saying, I will believe one more time. I will choose again. That's what the Course in Miracles teaches us. Choose again and choose again, right? So that's what I'm asking us to do. I want to read you something. It's from Thriving Through Uncertainty, and it's about that video game, and I'll close with that of just, it's about what I was talking about, the video game. And it also talks about, there's a concept that you may know in A Course in Miracles that says, who you think you are is a belief to be undone. Who you think you are is a belief to be undone. And what that means is the part of you that thinks you're broken, the part of you that thinks you're lost, the part of you that thinks you're too young, you're too old, you are the wrong mother, whatever it is, right? Who I think I am is a belief to be undone. Because there's something inside you that is infinite, that can choose right now, that can make anything happen at any time. You can do anything I ask, right? So I'm going to read this to you. This is from Thriving Through Uncertainty. If you have the book and you want to read this passage, it is on page 244. And so I'm just going to read this to you, because many of us are in the practice. Many of us are diligently doing our work of choosing love instead of fear. And you can feel alone, and you can feel like, oh my God, does this ever end? Or am I doing it wrong? And here's what I want you to know. I want you to know about the magic of practice. This is the magic of practice. It gets better. We become more fluid with each limit we surpass. When I'm in pain or tempted to believe that I'm beaten, I remind myself that no fear can withstand my devotion, patience, and focus. I can always see things in a new way. I will become who I am meant to become. I am not defined by the circumstance. I am the storyteller. I am the shapeshifter. I am the beloved. Anything you give me, I will throw into the blender. This process will yield even sweeter freedom. I will not beat myself up for being in pain or stuck. I will practice for as long as it takes to be free. I will thrive. And like the great teacher Paramahansa Yogananda says, persistence guarantees that results are inevitable. How will you practice? How will you devote yourself to thriving? I suggest you commit to believing in yourself and your life unconditionally, and to undertaking the most formidably loving relationship with yourself that you have ever known. The quality of your inner life is your life. Besides, my thriving friend, you have gifts to give our world. A Course in Miracles teaches that who you think you are is a belief to be undone. You think you can be stopped. You think you can be diminished. You think you can fail. But that's the game. You can never lose. You already have everything you need. You have this crazy alchemical love within you, and it's yours to give in any situation, which changes every situation. And I lost my place there. Which changes every situation and even changes you as you give it. You do not walk alone. Will you choose to listen to the disconnected, smallest version of yourself, or the highest allegiance of your spirit? You have a choice. Choose love. Choose again. Choose now. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. So I wanted to share that with you, my fellow practicers on this path. And again, if you're wanting to, I'm going to lead us into just a short meditation to take some of that in. I hope you'll also join me at tamakeeves.com and sign up we have free digital fortune cookies inspiration every single week. I have a brand new Course in Miracles class starting I think it's next week. And it's an 8-week journey together. So I hope you'll join me in that practice if that speaks to you. And then also just, I know Jennifer mentioned that I have a free gift for you. That it's a free workshop. It was one of my most popular ones on trusting your inner voice, and it's called a Wild Wisdom Wake Up on Trust. And so you can get that just by going tamakeeves.com/trust, and it'll take it to a secret way to get it for free. And I just want to thank, before we go into the meditation, I want to thank Jennifer for creating this amazing, amazing community. And for all of you who are daring to do this work, who are listening to the love instead of fear, because it's not always easy, right? You know, to show up every single week, even like Jennifer saying, I had, technical problems and whatever, and to show up in such grace and love always. And so let's support the people who are making the difference on the planet at this time. Let's continue to support the people who are being the light workers on this planet at this time. And by the way, that's you, baby. That's all of you, right? Because your dreams matter, and your inner voice, there is no big or small on this path. It's all equal. So we're just going to take a moment. We're just going to do a meditation just to take some of this in and to forget the words. So if you will, just take some deep breaths with me. And if it helps you at all to place your hand on your heart or any other gesture that is comforting or guiding, together, we are taking this holy moment and breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and letting go. Together, we are practicing beginning again in this instant, wherever you are, wherever I am. We are co-creating a safe and inspired space. Breathing all the way into your willingness. I am willing. I am willing to receive what I need to receive. I am willing to listen now to my love. I am willing to stand in my strength, even if I don't know how. Spirit, I am willing. And I am breathing out my tired thoughts, my effort, my struggle, my linear mind, my stories of who I am. Together, we're holding this space. Can we step onto holy ground? Can we step into this newness? Can we let go of everything that has been before? I am willing to choose again. Wherever I have closed my heart on myself, I'm willing, Spirit. I'm willing, love, to open my heart. I'm willing to trust, even when I'm scared. And if I can't trust, I'm willing to ask for help. And so just for a moment, I breathe in, I breathe out, and I know that I am already whole. I am already loved. There is a path. There is my path. Feel that. There is a path. There is my path. What would you have me know? I am asking my heart, my soul, my spirit. I'm not forcing or striving. Perhaps something comes in this instant, perhaps it comes later. I'm willing now. What would you have me know? What shift? Perhaps there's a word, perhaps there's an image. What would you have me know? And then together for one moment more, we hold this beautiful, generous energy for every soul who is listening, whether you are listening right now live with us, or you are receiving this later. If you are tuned in later and this is your time, we are with you. We are always with you. Our minds are joined. And together, we are now asking for greater strength, for greater love, for greater receptivity, for greater faith, and for the healing of everyone who hears us. We know that we were born for these times, and we are answering yes. I am answering yes. I am answering yes. And as you feel ready, and in your own time, allow your precious mind to return. And as you feel ready, and whenever it's right, Allow your beautiful new self to return.
Thank you, Tama. And I'm going to invite everybody to stay in this beautiful space of clear connection that Tama has supported us in flowing into. We are flowing in that river of complete support and love, infinite love and support. And as Course in Miracles students, which many of us are, we may be aware that in the manual for teachers, we're told that trust is the #1 characteristic of God's teachers. And that's what we are. We are here to teach only love, for that is what we are. And so in each and every moment, we are placing our trust and faith in something, in someone. We're either placing our trust and faith in spirit or the ego. And when we place our trust and faith in the ego, sometimes it looks like that tremendous doubt that Tama was talking about. And so the invitation today is to look at where the doubt is. Where have you placed your trust when you doubt? When you doubt yourself, when you doubt what's possible for you, when you doubt your gifts and talents, where have you placed your trust? Where has it been placed? Is it in somebody else's opinion or judgment? Where's that trust being placed? Just being aware of it now. It helps us so much to see the doubt as actually misplaced trust, misplaced faith. It's an error. It's not a sign of our inadequacy or worthlessness or foolishness. It's simply an error. Something to learn from. We can learn through pain or we can learn through joy, and we're all making the shift to learn through joy instead of pain. So in order to have the life you'd like, to have the growth and expansion you'd like, where can you place your trust and faith? Is there a willingness to have the courage to place that trust and faith in spirit? Remember, our script is already written. The highest and best possibilities of our lives, the expressions of our magnificence, our genius are all coded into our script. If we're willing to have trust and faith in that, in spirit leading us and guiding us to it, in our willingness to be led, to be guided, then surely it will unfold. And Tama is such a beautiful, living, breathing example of that. The courage it takes to place our trust and faith in love, in spirit, in the highest possibilities of our magnificence, already encoded into our script. Are we willing to access them in this very moment? So I'm going to invite you to continue to contemplate this, perhaps make some notes as Christopher gives us another song.
My second song in 3/4 time, pathetic attempt to find a rhyme, feeling this way, a nose across crime. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord. And I don't care if anyone hears or finds this song so insincere, soiled will drowns in tears. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, it's not new to my spirit and new to my mind. I've broken down 2,000,000 times, watched my dreams take to the skies. I've been down this road before, I've been down this road. It's not new to my heart and new to my soul. Every failed attempt takes its toll. How will I knock on one more door? I've been down this road before, I've been down this road. I've been down this road before, one too many times, one too many times. So much inspiration's been given to me, but hidden the means to set it free. Feels like a lesson in cruelty. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord. Not one stone I've left unturned, or one bridge that I've let burn. A set of ears you should have heard. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, it's not new to my spirit or new to my mind. I've broken down 2,000,000 times, watched my dreams take to the skies. I've been down this road before, I've been down this road. It's not new to my heart or new to my soul. Every failed attempt takes its toll. How will I knock on one more door? I've been down this road before, I've been down this road. I've been down this road before, one too many times, one too many times. I know how I am, predictably sworn, be on the phone by tomorrow morn, trying to find a brand new dawn. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord. And even though mine are ripped at the seams, only thing I believe in is following dreams. This very moment I'm hatching a scheme. Oh my Lord, oh my Lord, it's not new to my spirit and new to my mind. I may break down 2,000,000 more times or watch my dreams take to the skies. I've been down this road before, I've been down this road. It's not new to my heart and new to my soul. My next attempt may take its toll, but I'll still knock on 2,000,000 more doors. I've been down this road before, I've been down this road. I've been down this road before, one too many times, one too many times, one too many times. I've been down this road before, here I go once more.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Christopher. Thank you so much, Tama. And I don't want to break the mood here right now. We're going to do something that is unique to our Sunday services, and that's we're going to go into a breakout so you can have a chance to share and anchor the shifts and changes that you'd like in terms of opening up to spirit, feeling trusted and safe, and being able to place your trust where it belongs. So we're going to go into breakout, and I'm inviting you to share what's come up for you during the talk, during the music, during the meditations. and see if you can make some declarations, see if you can make some decisions and get your breakout partners, allow them to anchor it with you. So this is our group healing right here, right now. So we're going to go into a breakout. Sean is our master breakout expert here, and she's put it all together. So she's going to hit that go button, and you'll see your breakout button right there in front of you on the screen, and just click that and go into your breakout for a short while. Give everybody in your breakout room a chance to share if they'd like to. And if you don't like to share, you just want to listen, that compassionate listening is healing too for everyone. So have fun in your breakout room. I'll be right here with Tama and Christopher. If you can't find your button, look on the bar in the bottom. If you're on a computer, there's a button for breakout, and you can click there and it will take you to your breakout. All right, let's see. All right, and again, if you can't find your breakout room, look on the bottom bar. It's a powerful opportunity. You don't want to miss it to make declarations. Okay, there you go. So if for some reason you don't see the breakout room at the bottom bar, click the More button and then join the breakout room. We're all learning to become Zoom experts. Right? This is our part-time job now, Zoom expertise. Yeah, Tama's laughing because she knows what I'm talking about. Yes. All right, so the rest of us are here on Facebook Live, and I am just going to ask Sean to turn off the cameras for those who aren't going to participate in the discussion. We're just going to have a little discussion here with Kieran J. She's a Course in Miracles teacher from the UK, and she's going to be teaching her class on death coming up soon. And then we have, of course, Tama and Christopher, and just trying to see what's happening here. And Faith Roomer, and who's also a spiritual teacher, master teacher. So again, if we turn your video off, just know we love you, but we're just going to have this little convo on the on the Facebook Live. All right. So I like to go to Kieran J and give her an opportunity to share. She's such a wise woman, such an inspiration. And any thoughts, Kieran J, about the anything so far? Oh, we need to get her unmuted. She needs to be a co-host or something like that, Sean, so she can speak.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, and thank you so much, Tama. I really, really enjoyed that. I loved it. Listen to the inner voice. Don't take any notice of the prevailing winds. Listen to that inner voice. So beautiful. And I wonder if I can give you a quick example of how that worked in my life, because it involves the States. I was guided to, I'm in the UK, I was guided to go and live in Santa Fe for 6 months. And I had enough money to pay rent month by month, but no deposit. And one of the projects was to write my first book. It didn't happen, but I was going to write my first book. So it kind of belongs here, I think, this story. So I went over because I knew that I was guided, and I spent a couple of weeks in an intentional community, could no longer stay there. A couple of weeks in a hostel, that was that, no longer than 2 weeks, could you stay? And I did not know what to do. I had no financial resources and complete brick wall. I did not know what to do, except I knew I was meant to be there and all was well. I knew all was well. So I hitched a lift from where the bus left me to a trailhead that I'd done a few times. And it's a 5-minute ride, if that, it's a very short ride. So this lovely young man picked me up this time when I was getting really close to homelessness. And in that 5 minutes, he found out I was visiting, I had nowhere to stay. And he said, oh, my mum has a guest casita 5 minutes from the plaza. Don't think anyone's in there at the moment. Are you interested? Shall I get in contact with her? Yes, please. And this was in the morning. And at 6 o'clock that evening, I had an appointment to see the mother at the guest casita, which was absolutely glorious. Terraced garden up there, hummingbirds, plant pots everywhere, just perfection. And she said, well, normally my rate is this. I usually have people there, you know, for a couple of days at a time because it's perfect positioning for the plaza and everything else that's going on in Santa Fe. And I said, I just can't do that, but I can do this. And within half an hour, we had agreed a rate. And I moved in 3 days later and I stayed 9 months. And it was one of the most beautiful, beautiful places, landladies, time ever. It was absolutely gorgeous. And that would not have happened if I hadn't listened. So there you go. It works. It works. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thank you for that affirmation. I think we all appreciate hearing those kinds of stories. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
And can I just say something? Can I say something real quick? Even in telling it again, didn't you feel it again? Like, just even though that happened a long time ago, it reminded you again, oh yeah, I've experienced this. You know, like for me, like telling a story that I've had, you know, was a while ago, but when I tell it, it's like when you share it again, it's just, I felt it with you. It was right then. And it's like, thank you so much. It was beautiful.
Thank you for your comment. The joy of it, the joy of trusting.
Yes.
It's an open sesame. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Christopher, would you like to share anything? Oh, you gotta unmute yourself there. Can you unmute yourself? There you go.
There we go. There we go. In 2005, I had I felt a calling to move back to Los Angeles. I'd been there in the 90s, and on the way down to Los Angeles, I met a girl and her mother, and they were singers, songwriters, and they were around the San Francisco area. So I had a nice little visit with them, and I drove down to Los Angeles, and I had a place to stay right when I got there, but it was only a temporary situation. And I actually thought that I was going to have to live in my car. I got really, really desperate. And that night, they gave me a call and said that that they had rented an apartment in Hollywood, and they wanted me to produce an album for them, and they had an extra room there, and I could have the room if I agreed to produce this album. And so I ended up getting this apartment, and she ended up moving out to a new place, and I took over the apartment, got roommates and stuff. And again, you know, I had that calling to go back to Los Angeles, and everything just worked out, you know. And I thought I was basically homeless, thinking I'm gonna have to live in my car, and I was willing to do that because I came back to Los Angeles to follow my music dreams. And so anyway, just I know that you just proceed in faith, and things work out that you couldn't have otherwise manipulated into being. And that's been my experience my whole life. Whenever I've went anywhere in the world, I always get taken care of.
It's extraordinary. It is extraordinary. Oh, My computer's playing games with me. It really is. Um, I'm leading an online retreat this weekend, and that's one of the things we're looking at is really where we're placing our trust and faith and how we are so profoundly supported by the universe if we're willing to allow it. It's the allowance. It's allowing it is so important. Faith, would you like to add anything in here? Oh, we got to get Faith unmuted. Yeah. Sean, can you unmute Faith?
Okay, there you go. Perfect. What a beautiful and amazing performance by Christopher and Tama. Oh my gosh, that was such an, I'm on fire right now after this talk. Can you choose to believe again? And yes, you know, there's so many things going on in my life because I'm moving in a whole different area into my life right now, and new things are happening for me. And it is about saying yes, continuing to say yes, and having that faith, because there's so many things that it looks like in this time. How is this going to come together? How is that going to work? And you said something about when we up level that we're going to still experience that, because there's this idea that somehow we are going, I mean, I certainly have had this, that I'm going to somehow get to this place and then everything is just going to be, I'm never going to be challenged again. And that is a fantasy on some level, you know, but knowing that the evolution of my soul requires me to keep stepping up and then saying yes to that, and knowing that, and not only knowing that, but then saying, and I am supported by the entire universe, that it never stops supporting me, ever. It never runs out of support and love and peace and joy and all of the things that we in our soul are going to be open. I mean, I know that that's my expansion to more joy, more peace, more love. You know, that sounds like a Ricky Byers song, I think. But thank you so much, Tama and Christopher. That song, I've been down this road before. Oh, wow, beautiful. Thanks again.
Yeah, so great. And Tama, when you were talking about your experience with the yurt lady and your swimming in the river, it was so great and vivid. And that's what I just kept thinking is all the things that are passing you by, well, but there's always more.
Yes.
More.
Yes.
No limited supply.
Mm. And I love, by the way, I love, you know, like I shared energy and then you feel it like in faith coming back at you, like, right? Or you felt it in, is it Kieran? I don't know how to pronounce it. Karen? Is it Kieran? I don't know. Whatever that beautiful UK woman is. It's so interesting because the Course in Miracles always talks about what you share, you strengthen, right? And so like in my sharing my story, it lit you up. And then when you guys talked, I got lit up, you know, and Christopher, I loved your example, by the way, where he said something so important. What he said, you know, and I knew I might have to be homeless, but I was willing to do that. I was willing to do that. Like, it's almost like that. I'm willing to go anywhere this takes me because I want that. I want to see where it takes me. So, God, you guys are lighting me up. Thank you.
Karen J, anything more you'd like to add?
Oh, such gratitude for this virtuous circle of inspiration. Again, Faith, just so wonderful to hear your joy about what's going on for you now. And it's lovely. It's really, really lovely. Really appreciating being part of this conversation. And yeah, I knew that the course would be my life when I picked it up. But I thought that was like a personal study part of my life. I knew I was home and I knew I was passionate about it and I totally trusted Jesus, but I could have had no idea where that passion would take me. because I'm now working full time as a course teacher. And it is absolute joy. I could not have dreamt ever of the perfection of this job for me. It's used every single skill, every single experience I've ever had to the maximum. It's amazing. You know, I go through my days just going, wow, wow, this suits me, the Kiran J character, skills, experience, absolutely perfectly. It brings me joy. And at the time of the Santa Fe experience, I didn't think I'd ever be well enough to work again. I'd been through a big health thing. I could never have envisaged myself working again. Even 5 years ago, I wasn't sure I would ever work again.
I love that story. I love that example because I think it's so important for people to hear not only the joy and the excitement and the whatever, but the transitional stories that we've been scared and we'll be scared again. Like when I teach A Course in Miracles, I always teach, you know, I'm still dealing with things. I'm still scared, but that's what makes me on the path. That's what makes you trust a teacher, right? And so that, because I think there's a lot in the new thought or new age where it seems like, oh, you'll just do these 8 easy steps and then you're there forever, you know? And I love what your example is too, is that our right life is something we can't even imagine, right? Like who knew we were going to teach A Course in Miracles for a living? Who knew that was a career? And I'm Jewish, so it's like definitely not a career I was planning on, you know? So it's like, but again, that I think that spirit always knows something that's beyond what our normal perceptions of ourselves are. So your story is amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya.
Well, we have a couple minutes left before the breakout is over and people will be coming back. Any final thoughts anybody has that they would like to share? All right, I just like to say how prescient you are, Tama. You must feel like, oh my God, Spirit is so good to write a book about thriving in times of uncertainty, and then holy moly, like the mother load of uncertainty comes pouring down upon us. Like, OMG. You must have just be like your mind blown by that.
I was so blown away when the pandemic first hit, you know, and I started getting called because I wrote Thriving Through Uncertainty and it came out in 2018. And so before any of this, and then I started getting calls from the BBC and I got
Bye-bye.
I got calls from the BBC and then I got calls from NPR, you know, in New York. And it's just like, it was just amazing because I wasn't even going to write that book, you know, I was doubting it, you know, and like what you said about, we just never know anything. You know, I feel like all of us, Jennifer, I'm sure you feel this way too. I feel like we've all been preparing for these times. Like we've all been doing our work and like we are needed now more than ever before. And it's only going to increase. And so like all the work you've been doing, all the, you know, all the amazing stories, Christopher's stories, Faith's stories, everybody's stories. It's so important because in the media, we're not hearing these stories. In the media, we're not hearing this. And I believe that we are the messengers of something new. And again, I believe we're born for these times. And yeah, to your point, like, oh my God, I had no idea, you know, that a world pandemic was going to happen. And I had a book on Thriving Through Uncertainty. So.
Yeah, I marvel at the way you clearly are listening to Spirit and you're following through. That's the whole thing is so many people say they'd like to hear Spirit more clearly. And the thing is sure you would, but will you follow through? You know, or will you just push it away? One of the biggest realizations in my life was I finally got it. I went, girl, why are you praying for insight and clarity if you're just going to push it away? Like, that is ridiculous. And so I just started to follow the guidance more and more closely all the time. You know, it's not always convenient, you know, because as we all know, sometimes the guidance is go talk to that person across the room. And you're like, I don't want to. I really don't want to. I don't. Or, you know, the guidance is to spend time and talk with somebody that you're not in a mood to talk with them. It's like, but you do it anyway because you don't know what the gift is. You just don't know. And you may never know consciously what it is. It's about learning to be obedient because you are interested in being in a really good relationship with spirit instead of a half-assed relationship with spirit. It's just that simple. It really is. You know, enough already. It's like, imagine being in a marriage or a partnership with somebody that half the time you never even listen to them. Half the time you never even cared what they had to say or what their thoughts were, what their feelings were. Half the time you were just like, no, not now. I'm not interested. I'm interested only in one thing, and that is tuning out. You know, I want to tune out. I had that conversation years ago with Regina Dawn Akers. She was saying that at night she liked to have a glass of wine, tune out, watch some TV and stuff. And then she realized, what am I tuning out from? Like, I'm spending all day trying to tune in, and then at night I'm tuning out. Like, what? So yeah, these are the realizations that we have that help us remember what our life is for. We're here only to be truly helpful. Boom, that's it. And what's more helpful than living in our true identity? I mean, Tama, that's what you do. Christopher, clearly that's what you do. Kieran J, that's what you do. But you know, we didn't just wake up one morning and go, okay, that crazy stuff is over now, and now I'm going to be, you know, completely congruent with my Creator. No, it doesn't work that way. I mean, it worked that way for Saul, who was, you know, on the road to Damascus. Boom, he was hit by a blinding light, and now he's one of the apostles. But most of us, it doesn't happen that way. So it just happens the way that's perfect for each one of us. So before we're going to have another wonderful song here from Christopher. And before we do, we're going to make a few announcements. And one of the things I'd like to say is we do these Sunday services. We have a paid staff. The GJ is here working on a Sunday. It had been his day off, and he agreed to come to work every Sunday and do this with us. And thank you, GJ. And we do have some wonderful volunteers. We've got Sean, who is here, captain of the ship. We've got Lori, who's been here to pray, and she will pray us out at the end. Lori, by the way, is one of our certified spiritual counselors at the Power of Love Ministry. She's a powerful spiritual counselor and a teacher in her own right. And she is here as a volunteer to support you and me and the ministry. And we have a number of other people on the staff. We have the graphics people and the video people and the web people. And it takes a whole village of people to be able to put on a free service. And so most of the people are on salary, and we also like to, or they're paid, and paid staff. And we like to give a tithe to our speakers and our musicians. So I'd like to say a huge thank you to those who donate and contribute. And if you never have or you'd like to, I invite you to consider one of the simplest ways that you can donate. We can give you a regular donate link, but we can also give you the how to sign up for the Course in Miracles text messages. And so for $1 even, you can sign up to get A Course in Miracles text messages every day, and you can make your contribution that way. You can also make a monthly tithe, so you can set up a recurring tithe that you can cancel at any time. And you can get those free text messages as our gift to you. And so that's a wonderful way to support the ministry. I'm also going to mention we have a few things coming up, and one of them is we're going to have another class by the spectacular Karen J. Gardner. She's a much beloved teacher in our community. She's done a few classes with us. We just love her, and she's doing another one. Karen J., would you like to say a little bit about your class? It's coming up in 2 weeks.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I really appreciate the invitation to lead this workshop for the ministry. I so enjoyed the last one, Anger, Peace and Miracles. It was beautiful, beautiful bunch of people. And on the 3rd of October, I am leading Forgiving Physical Death. This is such a powerful focus to look at how we are choosing death day by day, quite likely having no idea that we're doing this. It might be very disguised. So on one hand, we're doing our spiritual practice and we're inviting healing. And on the other hand, we're choosing death. And of course, they are working against each other. So this workshop is a fantastic opportunity to have a look at this. We're going to bring it all up to be looked at. Just how are we choosing death? And how could we be choosing life day by day? Which will, of course, support our spiritual practice and our healing. So I offer a very warm invitation to anybody who would like to explore their death thinking, their death beliefs, their death attitudes, their death choices, and choose again. It's 11 till 5 o'clock Eastern, and I think the registration page will be ready shortly. I think perhaps in the next couple of days it will be up on Jennifer's website. So please do come and join in. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yes, and we'll be sending out an email. This is just an extraordinary opportunity, and especially for all Course in Miracles people or anybody who has issues with death and healing. And Karen J is a master teacher. She's a master, and you will be so glad for that opportunity. And I'm sorry we don't have the link today. I thought we did. So we'll send that out to everybody. And oh, today I'm launching my Kirtan Kriya challenge, my 40-day challenge. This is a Kundalini meditation. It's totally free, this 40-day challenge. And it's a wonderful, simple meditation you can do in 15 minutes or less a day. And I give you all the instructions and 40 days of emails that you can enjoy and do the Kirtan Kriya challenge along with me. We're putting the link in the chat. You sign up. We start on Saturday. Invite your friends. This is a meditation that literally, it like rewires you in all kinds of ways. Number one benefit is reduction in anxiety. Number two benefit is improving your memory. The Alzheimer's people have done all kinds of research, and they are amazed at what this Kirtan Kriya meditation does for people. And there's so many benefits. So I just invite you to go read all about them. Again, the challenge is totally free and it's fun. This whole thing is fun. So come and join us with that. And then the other last thing, I'm thinking of doing a spiritual counseling training in November. And if you might be interested, I'm going to put the information there. You can click the link and see, you can learn more, fill out the survey if you're interested in that training. And Tama has put her information in there. Remember, she's got an 8-week Course in Miracles class coming right up. She's got her free gift there. Let's repost that link there for everybody. Christopher, where can people find your music? Can you tell us, can you put it in the chat? I can't unmute you. You have to do it yourself.
Okay. My website is christophermusic.ca. And if you would trust me with your email, I would love to let you know about all my upcoming events and what I'm doing. I'm about to release a new album, and I actually went into the Rocky Mountains and shot a music video for my own version of The Rose, made famous by Bette Midler. And the Amanda McBroom, beautiful, beautiful song. And I've got cello in there and this nylon string guitar. And we shot this amazing video in the mountains. And so I'm going to be releasing that soon as well. I think it's going to be on the end of January is what I'm shooting for right now. But again, it's christophermusic.ca. And I would love for you to shoot me your email, and I can let you know about all my upcoming music adventures.
Oh, that's great. Yep, and that is exciting. I love that song. I love that song. I think anyone who hears that song loves that song. I bet you do an amazing job of it. And we also have in the chat here a link to Tama's Thriving Through Uncertainty audio book, and you can get the audio book that way as well. So this is the time for it. Oh my goodness. And so that's our service, except for Christopher's going to give us a song, and Lori is going to pray us out.
What else on earth do I have to do just to show you, to prove my love is true? Earthly wonder right outside your door. I've made a playground of beauty to explore. Mother Nature's stories I created all for you. Count the stars, count the trees, grains of sand in the seas. Multiply that by forever, and you'll see what I mean. Count the waves across the shore. The truth is, I adore to the power of infinity. I couldn't love you more when you count the stars. Count everything in between. All that you gaze upon and all that can be seen. The seven wonders held next to you. The next time you wonder if I really love you, count the stars. Evil ones speak to me, you're in fear. Don't you know my love is nothing but sincere? I do exist, though you're in doubt. The footprints of your life, I've carried you throughout. You may not believe in me, but I believe in you. Count the stars, count the trees, grains of sand in the seas. Multiply that by forever, and you'll see what I mean. Count the waves across the shore. The truth is, I adore to the power of infinity. I couldn't love you more when you count the stars. Count everything in between. All that you gaze upon and all that can be seen. The seven wonders hail next to you. The next time you wonder if I really love you, count the stars. I made you the Rockies, Northern Lights, and Mount Hot Springs, in Potts Lake Louise. I made you the Northern Lights, the Voodoo's, I made Spain display the Great Prairies. Take a look around you, can you doubt I love you? Wonders they surround you, oh how much I love you, What else on earth do I have to do just to show you, to prove my love is true? Earthly wonders right outside your door. I've made a playground of beauty to explore. Mother Nature's stories I created all for you. Count the stars, count the trees, grains of in the seas. Multiply that by forever, and you'll see what I mean. Count the waves across the shore. Truth is, I adore. To the power of infinity, I couldn't love you more. When you count the stars, count everything in between. All that you gaze upon, and all that can't be seen, the seven wonders. Held next to you. Next time you wander, lost in despair. The next time you ponder, if I really care. The next time you wonder, if I really care. Count the stars.
Woo! Ha ha ha! Thank you. Thank you, Christopher. That was
Welcome.
awesome. Yes.
It's my honor to be here, Jennifer. Thank you so much. Remember when we used to drive to Agape together when we were neighbors there?
Oh my God.
That was a blast.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great having that time with you, and I really appreciated it.
Well, I'm glad you're here today and come back again. And I just say to everybody, you know, if you ever feel like you're out of the flow of prosperity, count the stars, count the leaves on a tree, because it's our nature to be prosperous and abundant. Yeah. Oh, so glad you're here, Christopher. And Tama, thank you so much for bringing your humor and your brilliance and your genius. And Lori, take us home.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Just breathing into all of that energy, closing our eyes and just allowing it to flow through us. So grateful, so thankful to allow the love that is us to flow through us and guide us. Placing all those beliefs that we have to make it in the world, handing those beliefs over to Spirit, knowing that we are truly here to remake the world. We are willing to step into that river of love. We are willing to claim our right as the eighth wonder of the world. We are so grateful and thankful to know that that is done, that that is true, and that we can share all of those benefits and all of this energy with the world. And we can thrive in this time now, because we are the wonders of the world. And we share those benefits with everyone. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for another Sundays with Spirit. So glad you were here. We love you. Mwah.